Microsoft had its Q3 earnings report today, and the news just continues to get better for the Xbox division. The gaming division at Microsoft has been very strong since the release of the Xbox Series X and S. Their revenues and everything have been growing, and that trend is continuing with this Q3 earnings report. So in terms of its hardware sales, the Microsoft Xbox Series X and S consoles revenue has grown by a massive 232% thanks to the next gen consoles and the release of the Series X and S. In terms of its content and its services revenue, it has increased by $739 million, which is 34% compared to the same quarter last year. And they say here it's driven by third-party titles, Xbox Game Pass subscriptions, and first-party games. And their overall gaming revenue is up $1.2 billion, so 50% after reaching $5 billion for the first quarter ever last quarter. And they say here it's thanks to mainly Xbox content, services, and the Xbox hardware. So for the Xbox ecosystem and Xbox, this is great news. Obviously for the consumer like you and me, we're not making the money. So why does this matter? Well, it matters going forward throughout this generation that Xbox makes money and their revenues grow so they can continue to do things like get first party studios, make first party games, do acquisitions like Bethesda in order to get those games onto Xbox Game Pass, make Xbox Game Pass deals with third parties, getting them on their day one like they did with Outriders and with MLB The Show, because they're going to want to see their revenues continue to increase every single quarter. And the best way that they're going to be able to do that is to increase the value of Xbox Game Pass. You try to get more and more people to sign up for the service. And at that same end, it shows that the Xbox Series X and S consoles are doing very well in terms of sales and in terms of generating revenue. So people out there who think that because Xbox Game Pass is an ecosystem that can be accessed on multiple devices, it's going to deter people from buying an Xbox, are continuously being proven that that is not the case. The console itself for Xbox is going to continue to sell, whether games on the Xbox ecosystem are available or not on PC, on Android, on iOS, and just on other devices. It's another gateway for people to be able to access these games. In my opinion, the Xbox Series consoles is probably the most convenient way to be able to access these games with the best quality and best experience without having to spend thousands of dollars on building a PC, without having to deal with the streaming through xCloud on your phone and network issues and stuff like this. The Xbox Series consoles is the best way to play Xbox Game Pass games. And I think a lot of people are going to see the price tag of an Xbox Series console and the price tag of picking up a PC or building a PC, and they're going to go ahead and buy the Xbox Series consoles and Game Pass. That's the main thing here. It's such a good service. It's such a great deal. The value is there, continues to be added. And as we see, when more games are dropping on the service and more of those Xbox game studios games drop, and after E3, when we see a bunch of announcements, and hopefully they give us release dates for games coming out this year, as well as previews for games coming out in further years. These stats here, I think, are just going to continue to go up, and people are going to be jumping onto Xbox Game Pass as fast as possible. But this also really speaks to Phil Spencer and how he's turned the ship around at Xbox. It's very interesting to me to see what Xbox has done since the Xbox One, just from stepping back from an objective point of view, from kind of like looking at it as at the business perspective in video games. For somebody who's been following the video game industry for a very long time, many previous generations before this one, seeing how Don Mattrick came out with the Xbox One and just really blew everything up at Xbox and made lots of bad decisions coming off of the Xbox 360, which was an extremely successful console, doing the DRM stuff, doing the always online, the mandatory Connect. And to be fair, the DRM and the always online got reversed before they actually released the Xbox One, but the Connect was still in the bundle. And then selling that console at an extra $100 over the PlayStation 4 and just not focusing solely on gaming. And then you see Phil Spencer come in and take over, reverse everything, launch Xbox Game Pass, launch the Xbox One X, which was a really great console, do an amazing job with the hardware for the Xbox Series X and S, and just provide that value and get studios and make sure that Xbox is focused on gaming. And now, obviously, it's paying dividends for Microsoft and for Xbox. So it's going to be a really fun generation. We know Xbox is focused solely on gaming, on giving us value, and we're going to get a lot more games onto Game Pass. I think there are a lot of surprises that are coming down the pipeline, especially when you see numbers like this. With the amount of money Microsoft has, they're going to want to go hard on getting more content onto Game Pass, more first-party games, and just more day one launches of games on to Game Pass. So that's it for me. I just wanted to give you a quick update because these numbers just dropped. If you are new here and you enjoy what you see throughout this video, I would really appreciate you hitting that subscribe button to help this channel grow and help grow this community. And if you've been here all along, I really appreciate all the support you guys are giving me. It really does mean a lot. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your support, and I'll catch you in the next video.